Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for being here today. Our next presenter is Kim Pearlstein. She owns a marketing company, and she helps business owners leverage LinkedIn to be more effective for their business. She also does work on Facebook, email marketing, and some other things. Some of you know her. She has a variety of skills. But today we're going to focus on LinkedIn. So you're going to learn strategies to increase your visibility, to find new leads, which we all need, and grow your business. So from New Jersey, please welcome my friend Kim Pearlstein.
Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. So what I'm going to do today is, happy to answer any questions throughout. I have a PowerPoint presentation, and there are a ton of slides because I could talk about LinkedIn all day long. I love it. It's my favorite social media platform. So what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to start with a PowerPoint, and then I'm going to jump to actually showing you LinkedIn, my profile, and a couple people have volunteered ahead of time for me to use their profile as examples. And I would like to just open up to questions and things that you're struggling with or whatever, because, again, there's so much to cover, and I want to talk about the things that are important to everyone here today. So thank you again. Right. So, in general, the goal of any digital marketing and social media platform is to build your relationships, increase your visibility and reach, drive traffic to your website. And when you do all of that, you get exposure to potential customers, you grow your network, your brand, and your business. But there's so many platforms out there, right? So how do we decide which platform? Well, for me and for most business owners, LinkedIn is the place to be. It's great for business to business. And why? It's because 57% of companies using LinkedIn have acquired a customer from LinkedIn. And it is the best social network for lead generation, way above Twitter and Facebook. So the power, just quickly, the power of connections. If you're not familiar with the way LinkedIn works, there's first, second, and third degree connections. And if I'm connected to Joe and Monica, and Joe is connected to Brent and Julie, Joe is my first degree connection, and Brent and Julie are my second degree. If Julie's connected to Karen and Mary, then those are third degree connections for me. So just when you're doing searches on LinkedIn, this is just something good to be aware of when you see, first, second, and third degree, what that means. So today we're going to cover some statistics and the power of LinkedIn. We're going to talk about the settings, the essential elements of a LinkedIn profile, building your network, content marketing, groups, and lead gen. Now that's a lot of stuff to cover. We're probably not going to get to everything, and I'm going to go probably pretty fast. So again, ask me questions. You will get the recording, so you'll be able to watch later if I'm overwhelming you by all the information. So there are actually, I didn't even update my slide. I looked, yesterday I was reading something. I think now there's over 700 million people on LinkedIn. There are 177 million in the US. It's a 24/7 networking tool in over 200 countries. 40% of people use LinkedIn every day. 87% of decision makers are found on LinkedIn. So that's a reason enough alone to be on here. There are over 20 million jobs and 30 million companies. So if you're looking for a job, this is also the place to be. Now, LinkedIn used to be thought of as a place only to look for a job, but now it is much more than that. It is a business tool to help you grow your business. So just some quick demographics: 90 million senior level influencers, 63 million decision-making positions, 46 million students and college grads, more males than females, 24% of millennials use it, 49% of users earn more than $75,000 a year, 41% of millionaires use LinkedIn. And that's some statistics real quick. So the power of LinkedIn is to grow your connections, to build your brand, increase your visibility, share your knowledge, establish yourself as an expert, increase your visibility and stand out from the competition, build trust, do research either on your competitors or in your industry, attract customers, and be found in a Google search. Google loves LinkedIn. So when you have what's called an optimized LinkedIn profile, People can actually find you in a LinkedIn search, on a Google search, sorry, your LinkedIn profile will appear at the top if your profile is optimized. And we'll talk about what that means. And you can find leads on LinkedIn. That's one of the most powerful things. Now, people often ask me, should I have a premium or is a free version okay? And I tell people the free version is great until you hit a wall. If you're doing a lot of searching, LinkedIn may stop you from searching. One of the things that you get in the premium, though, is you get to see everyone who's viewed your profile. When you have the free account, you only see the last 5 people in a given month. And you get additional filters in the premium account. And I have the account called Sales Navigator, and that one allows you to save leads and get news from the leads that you save. So it's pretty neat. But most people really just need the free account. So the main thing, the first start of using LinkedIn is to have an optimized profile. And the first thing I tell people to do is to update their URL if you didn't already do that. It's actually one of the first indicators when I look at someone's profile. I can tell if they've had help or not, because if their LinkedIn profile URL has all these numbers and letters after it, I know that nobody really guided them into doing that. So what I recommend is you change it just to your name, or if your name is taken, you have to be a little more creative. Now, on my website, I have a free report called the 5 Updates to Improve Your LinkedIn Profile in Under 30 Minutes. And I believe that changing your URL is the first thing on that report. So you can go to my website if you are not already on the list, and you can grab that report for you. I do send like a monthly newsletter. If you're really not interested in that, you can just opt out or unsubscribe after you get the free report. So with the LinkedIn settings, I just like people to be aware that there's a lot of things on here. So when you click on me on your profile and you click View Profile, there's this settings and privacy section here. So this is, if you click that, I just want you to be aware that there are all these different sections. This is how you control your email, how many emails you get from LinkedIn, if you are signed into more than one session. So I'm going to just jump through these. Probably the most important thing is your privacy. And I do recommend that you show your name and your headline, what's showing here, because if you don't show that to people, then when you go to look at your own statistics, you're not going to see who viewed your profile. And even though you can only see the last 5 people if you have the free account, it's really good to have that information showing. If you're doing research on your competitors or you're looking up an old flame or something, maybe you want to turn that off temporarily, but always go back and make it your whole name and headline. So I'm gonna just go through the rest here and skip that part, okay? Because this is the meat and bones of it is optimizing your LinkedIn profile. So the first thing, again, to get to this section, you click Me and you click View Profile, and then it will show you your profile page, and you'll be able to make changes. This is my profile as it looks today, and what I like to call this is the personal identification box, because this is what people see right away at the very top. What do they say? Above the fold, right? And I also like to call it the 10-second bumper sticker, because this is where all the information is that people see when they look at your profile. So the essential elements, like what's missing from this one, is the professional headshot. I once read that not having your picture on your profile is like going to a networking event or a Zoom call with a paper bag over your head. So I thought that was a pretty interesting analogy. People want to see a nice picture of you, or a picture. It doesn't have to be professional, but make it look nice, okay? The things that you should have in the picture are your business attire, a nice smile, have it be current, a simple background. And people that have a profile picture on their profile get 14 times more views. So that's, a pretty good reason to have that on there. And you're also 36 times more likely to receive a connection request message. So LinkedIn works by keywords. And so those are the most important. It's kind of like the SEO, right? When you have a website, the search engine optimization, the keywords are very important. So where you need to make sure you have those keywords, and the keywords you have to think about 3 or 4 that you want to be found for. So on my profile, I had LinkedIn training, email marketing, those types of things. So your headline is the most important, your summary, your work experience, both current and past if it's relevant, and your skills. So Brent was nice enough to let me share his on the screen today. So thanks, Brent. I hope you're still on here. I can't see everybody that's here. If you want to unmute your, okay, good.
I'm here.
Unmute.
Thanks, Kim.
So thanks for that. So the first thing I want to just say about your profile is you have a nice picture there and you have a lot of connections, which is awesome. But what I want you to take note of, and I think, oh, I thought I put it, there's Julie, sorry. I think it's on the next slide. Oh. See how here, so Brent, you have as your description of underneath your profile, you have owner Brent Darnell International. Well, that doesn't tell me anything about what you do. So my first recommendation would be to change that and put in the keywords. Brent, what do you do? What does your company do? Can you unmute?
I teach emotional intelligence to the construction industry.
Okay, so that's exactly what you should have there in your headline. You actually have 220 characters in your headline to put those keywords. So you could say emotional intelligence, you can say construction industry, you can put a tagline in there if you want to. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually jump out to LinkedIn because sometimes it's just easier to go through all the things. I'm gonna stop my screen for a second here, share my, actually, I can still do it from here, I think, sorry. Where the, right, so I'm gonna go to your profile from here if that's okay. Now we're not connected on here, so. Oh, you changed your, you surprised me. So that's better than the blue, but it's a little unclear as to what that is. Looks like you may have to get a better resolution picture. I don't know what you're trying to put there, but that's definitely better than the blue that is nothing. So that was going to be my other comment. Obviously snagged that before you did that.
So refresh that.
Okay. Oh, wow. See, you were quick. Yeah, teaching emotional intelligence and critical people skills to the construction industry since 2000. That's definitely better than what you had before. Not only do you tell people here what you're doing, but you don't need your company name because it's over here, Brent Darnell International. So people see that. Oh, so yeah, that's your logo in the headshot.
Right.
Just,
that's the logo.
Yeah, so you have to figure out. Now, if I use a tool called Canva, it's just canva.com, and you can create LinkedIn headers for yourself. It's very easy to use. It's a free tool. So Canva, canva.com. Check it out. There's videos out there if you're not sure what to do, or if you need guidance, I can help you. It's very easy to create a LinkedIn header. They have the dimensions, and you just put a picture in there, even if it's just a scenic picture. If you're a health coach, maybe you just want a pretty picture of, you know, good healthy food or whatever. It's just put something there besides the what's there. Okay, so now this is the about section. So that's, you have information here. It used to be called the summary. So this is good start. It's good to put, so up here you have the 220 characters, and then here you actually have 2,000 characters. So it's okay to just have these couple paragraphs here, but it's also good to think about what your customer, you know, how you help your customer, and put that in here. So I'll just go to mine real quick because it's easy for me to talk about it instead of showing you the presentation. I want you to get value out of this, and I want to show you some of the things that I've done that others can, that you can also do. So what I do is I actually ask the question, want to automate your follow-up and get more referrals? Overwhelmed trying to learn how to market and grow your business? So when you're looking at LinkedIn on your phone, people only see like the first like 2 lines. This is all they would see. So if you want people to be drawn in, you want to put something in the first couple sentences on your about section that draw people in more. You can tell a story, you can talk about how you help people, but don't just put like, you know, Kim has 20 years experience in blah, blah, blah. That's very boring. And also you should be speaking about yourself in first person. So if anyone out there has, you know, their name and talking about themselves in third person, change that right away. And, you know, just keep in mind how you help your clients solve their problems, and you can put, again, lots of information in here. Now, You see here I have these like little stars in between. You can just like steal those from me if you like that, but I also recommend using what's called the Halfpipe, which is the vertical line above the backslash key. It's a straight line up and down, to separate keywords and keyword phrases on a profile. So it looks like this if you look down at, if you look at my description of my company, what I do here, it's the Halfpipe is between here. So I like to put a space, the vertical line, a space. So when you're putting keywords and keyword phrases in, it looks nice and clean. So I recommend you do that as well. So I'm jumping around a lot, so I hope I'm not confusing everybody. What I also want to talk about is in this top section here, so in order to edit your picture, you just click this little pencil up here. To edit any of your sections in the top here, you click the pencil here. And I think, Brent, on yours I noticed, hold on, let me go back to your profile. You have Atlanta, Georgia here. Now, I don't know if that's like the zip code that you know, do you live in Atlanta, Georgia, or is there a broader area that you can help people in? So on your profile, when you put your zip code in, it either shows the city and state you're in on your profile, or you can pick the broader area. So I live in New Jersey, but my profile says Greater New York City metropolitan area. So when you're in that section, you actually want to pick the broader location here. So if you change this, I live in Warren, then this is what's going to show up. Warren, New Jersey is going to show up on my profile. But if you serve people in an area beyond the town that you live in, you want to pick the other location within your area and save your profile with that information.
Well, I've worked in 20 different countries. Is there a way to, or is that just your physical location?
This is just your physical location. Since you've worked in different countries, you can actually change that in the bottom. So here where you have your experience, you can put, I don't have anything there because I also serve people all over, but you can put a location here. See here, you can put anything you want. You can type it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I should have actually mentioned one other thing on the settings and privacy. Before you make any changes on your profile, you probably want to turn off the notification that tells people that you're making changes. So I don't know if you can see this because I have everybody. Let me fix this screen. I see people on the top here, so I don't know if you see that or not. But you see this thing that says shared job changes, education, and work anniversaries. Okay, when you're making changes on your profile, this should be turned off. I think the default is actually to have it on. So that's under the settings and privacy. Under privacy, you just want to make sure that that's off so that when you make a change, your whole network doesn't get notified. Does that make sense? Mm. Okay, let's go back to, for some reason it puts it in a separate window. Okay, the other thing is under your contact information here, most people just have their profile and maybe they'll have a website in here. The only people that can see your email address and your phone number, if you include it, are the people that are your first degree connections. So I think it's important to put a phone number in here. Now, I have a Google Voice number, which is not my cell, that directs, if people call this number, it goes to my cell phone. So if you have a Gmail account, you can get a free phone number called a Google Voicemail number. So that's worth having if you don't already. But it's important to have your email and your phone number in here because, again, the only people that can see that are your first degree connections. But the other more important thing is to put that information in your about section, because if you're not connected with someone and they want to reach out to you, if they don't know how to do that on LinkedIn because they think, oh, I have a free account, I'm not going to be able to do that, you want to put your email or a way to contact you. So at the bottom of mine, I have curious about how we can help you schedule a complimentary call. I have a link to my Calendly, which I think I need to change. Actually, I changed that. And then I have my email address to contact me with questions. And I recommend you do something similar. And feel free to steal any of the wording I have about that because I'm sure I probably took it from someone else and edited it to meet my needs. So, okay, let's see. So the About section is very important. If you do not have that on your profile yet, then you would click up here to say Add a Profile section, and it'll give you all the different ones that are there, and you would add that in. So let's see, should we go back to Brent to see what else? Okay, so one of the other areas, like I mentioned, that is important for your keywords is under your experience section. So again, you have owner, Brent Darnell, okay? You can change this. You can put anything you want here. Use the same words that you used before, because how LinkedIn works, when someone is searching for what you do, they're not going to search for owner. They don't know you own a company. If someone's looking for emotional intelligence, they're going to search for that up here. So in the search box, people use this like a Google search. If I search for speaker, for example, there's over 1,700,000 people that are speakers. Okay, you want to make sure whatever someone is going to, think about the keywords that you want to be found for and use those keywords in all the areas I mentioned. So Brent, for you, again, you would put that in your experience section here. And if anything is, so here, you're a prime example of, you're talking about yourself in third person. Even here, you should change this, okay? It's good to include graphic, media here. And you can also include media in here in your About section. So that's good. And LinkedIn shows your activity and how many people you're connected with. So you have a lot of connections, which is good. Okay, I'm just going to take a look at my notes since I'm skipping around a lot. Right, let's go back to presentation because I don't want to skip topics here. Right. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us for part 2 of LinkedIn presentation. We lost power last time in the middle, so I'm going to take a step back and start where it makes sense. We're going to start talking about all the essential elements of the LinkedIn profile to do what's called an optimized LinkedIn profile. So I'm going to use a combination of screen sharing the LinkedIn presentation I have in PowerPoint and also jumping onto LinkedIn to show you in real time some of the things you can do. So I'm going to share my screen, the presentation first. And there we go. Okay, so we're going to talk about the 5 or 6 areas of LinkedIn that are the most important. The first one is, oh gosh, let's see. Oh, there we go, the professional headshot. So I once heard that not having a picture on your LinkedIn profile is like going to a networking event with a paper bag over your head or being on Zoom with no picture. So the professional headshot is the most important. I know we're not doing a lot of live presentations these days, haha, Bobby, right? But yes, a professional headshot is very important. We can, be in your business attire, have a nice smile, make it a current photo, and a simple white background. You get 21 times more profile views if you have a profile picture, and you actually are 36 times more likely to receive a message on LinkedIn with a profile picture. So that's pretty important right there. The second thing is a descriptive profile headline. So a lot of people just have their current role and then the name of the company, because that's the default that LinkedIn puts there. But what makes more sense is to use the keywords you want to be found for. So in this example, instead of just a manager at World Financial Group, you might want to put financial analyst, wealth manager, securities and investment advisor. Think about the keywords that you want to be found for and put those in your headline. You do have up to 220 characters now. It used to be 120, now it's 220. So you have quite a lot of space there to talk about yourself. And you can also put a tagline if you have one for your business, if it makes sense to do that. Here's what mine looks like: LinkedIn training, email marketing, relationship marketing, easy follow-up. So I have specifically targeting realtors and other areas for that business. So I have that in there as well. Okay, third element is a compelling summary. It's now called the About section, but it is basically a summary of your background and experience. And what you want to do is you do not want to write it in third person. This is a summary written in third person with vague statements is only a good alternative to sleeping pills. So what you want to do is tell your story, a catchy summary. What I can do for you is the way to go, and add a call to action for bonus points. So this, okay, over 50% of LinkedIn users use LinkedIn, look at their LinkedIn profile on their mobile device. So on a mobile, you can only see the first, like, maybe 2 sentences if you're looking at the summary of someone. So you want to consider putting your contact information at the top if you want to, but make the first 288 characters count. So on mine, I have questions and stuff. So you just want to draw the user, the person in to want to read more about you. And you can include a call to action. That's very important. So mine is just curious about how we can help you. Contact me with my email address for a complimentary consultation. Now, the only people that can see the email address that you have on your LinkedIn profile are your first degree connections. And if you have your phone number on LinkedIn too, that the only people seeing that are the first degree. So you do want to definitely include a call to action in your summary so that people that aren't connected to you can still reach out to you if they want to, if they're interested in what you have to offer. So people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So telling your story is important. This is a good graphic that you can take a picture of, but you're also going to get the recording, so you don't need to. But what I do is I help, and then you put your target audience in there, achieve what their goal is by providing your product or service. So this is a good kind of an outline as to a nice way to do your summary. And you can do a combination of paragraphs and bullet items because people absorb information differently. And you can also get other ideas from other people's profiles. If you look at maybe people in your industry or other people that you're connected with, and you can get some ideas for what you want to put on yours that way. So completing all sections of your profile makes you 40% more likely to be found in a search. Again, including the keywords, your contact information, your websites, your skills. When you list 5 or more skills on your profile, you get up to 17 times more profile views. So again, another good reason for filling out your profile completely. And recommendations are very important if you're allowed to use them in your industry. I know financial services and some other areas are not allowed to have recommendations. This is an example of how you ask for a recommendation. You can only ask for a recommendation if you're connected to someone as a first degree connection, directly connected to them. So what you do is you click more, and then a little pop-up comes up and there's a request a recommendation. You click that, and then it gives you a pop-up box. You're supposed to say how you know the person and what position you had at the time. And then you get this box, which has a generic message that says, hi, the person's name, can you write me a recommendation? You can change that, so it's a good idea to specifically ask, like tell people, you can either actually write something for them, say, you know, I would love for you to recommend my LinkedIn, you know, that you got a lot out of my LinkedIn presentation, and I increased your views by X. You know, you want to maybe give some specifics, ideas, but when someone asks you for a recommendation and you get that back from them, you actually have the opportunity to ask for changes, or you can add it to your profile. If you don't like what they said for some reason, then you don't have to add it. It doesn't just automatically go, which is good to know. Any questions? I know that wasn't much to cover yet. Okay, cool. I'm going to keep moving. We got a lot to cover, and I'm going to spend about a half an hour or so, give or take. So the next thing I want to talk about is building your network. And so how many connections do you have? The goal is to have at least 500 or more, because the more connections you have, the more likely you'll be found in a search and the more credible you look. You know, if someone only has 15 LinkedIn connections, it's like, okay, they're not really utilizing LinkedIn. And, you know, but if they have 500 or more, then, oh, I want to be connected with that person. So how you see how many connections, let's see, you click My Network, and you can see right there, this is an old screenshot, but how many connections someone has. You can actually see how many connections anybody has if you want to, by clicking the number and then looking at their followers. So searching for people, I tell you, always personalize the connection request. So you hit the connect button when you're going to look for a person that you maybe met through a networking event or somewhere else, or that was a referral. You can search for their name, and you always want to add a note. Now this isn't actually, I think, also an old screenshot, because what happens now is when you click that, it says your message has been sent, and then you have an opportunity to send a note. Now, I did update yesterday my, my free report on my website. So if you already grabbed a copy of that, then I'm going to send a new one out to everyone who registered for this, because I realized yesterday that some of the things had changed. And so I'll send everybody a new report. And the new report has the updated screenshots for this section. Okay, so a lot of times when you connect with someone, it'll also have the people that you may know at the bottom. And so wait, one caveat first for hitting the connect button. If you're using your app to send a connection request and you just hit the connect button like you would on your computer, it will automatically send the generic message. So I like to recommend that you use your computer when you're doing connection requests, because when you hit connect from your computer, it gives you the option to add a note. Again, if you do it from your phone app, there is a way to send a personalized message, but it's easy to forget because it's not apparent right on the screen. There's a connect button, and then there's like, I think 3 little dots there. You would have to hit the 3 little dots, choose personalized invite, and then type your message. So I don't, and even when you get this screen on your computer or your phone, if you hit connect from here, you will automatically send the generic message that way too. So I don't recommend it. If you do want to connect with people that are recommended to you, first click on their name and then send them a personalized connection request. Okay, so content marketing. Oops. 3 million users share content every week. That's a lot of content out there. So some of the things you can do are share your content. You can share your own content or other people's content. You can like, comment, and share directly from, well, this, I don't know why that has a, a Facebook share, a Facebook like, but anyway, how you share on any of the social platforms and engage with others is to like, comment, and share their content. Asking questions and helping yourself stand out. And the content marketing rule is the Pareto principle, which is 80% of what you share, the 80-20 rule, 80% of what you share should be valuable information, tips and tricks, strategies, information just about your industry that your audience might find valuable, and 20% can be promotional. I have an event I'm promoting, or a workshop I'm trying to get people to sign up for, or things like that. So, and again, you have to understand and abide by the rules and regulations of your company or industry. Oh boy, I was like, I really didn't update this for the way it goes. I jumped ahead. 80% informative, interesting, and relevant content, tips and tricks. How-to lists perform well on LinkedIn, and articles with titles between 40 to 49 characters perform the best. 20% promotional. Program launches, special offers. I guess I get ahead of myself. I get excited to share all this, so I talk about the slide before it pops up. Some other guidelines about content marketing. Create posts that spark conversations and keep your audience engaged. Posting after hours sometimes does get more engagement. You have to see what works for your industry and for your audience. Early morning, early evening, and late at night. You have a 20% higher chance of engagement. I don't know about in this world with everybody working from home, but prior to that, I think people were more relaxed in the evening and might be checking their phone at that time, or early in the morning. Excuse me. So keeping it short, focus on one specific message, and you can include a link to your blog post or website, and use visuals, ask open-ended questions. One of the things that I found useful when I'm posting on social media is if I'm posting an article and then, but I do want, if I'm posting someone else's article, but I do want people to, reach out to me as I put a call to action, like, enjoy this article about content marketing. If you have any questions, my email is, please reach out to me in the actual post, even if I'm sharing someone else's information. And also, if you have a lead magnet on your website, a way for people to sign up for your newsletter, it's good to also share that and put a link to your website in different places. So that's another way to grow your list and get, when you're promoting content. So where to post on LinkedIn, you go to your home page. So when you click, I can share that in a bit when I jump back into LinkedIn, but you basically just type here where it says share an article, photo, or update. Now, if you were going to write your own article, you would click here, writing an article, and that's LinkedIn has its own publishing platform. But you just click post, type something in here and click post. You can post in groups also. We'll talk about that a little bit now. So LinkedIn has a ton of groups, and the groups are great because one of the benefits of groups is that you can direct message someone if you're in the same group as them, whether you're connected to them or not. So that's a huge benefit, so keep that in mind. And it's good to join groups both of your industry and of your target market. So I service a lot of small business owners, so I'm in a lot of small business owner groups. But I also, because I'm in the email marketing and social media space, I'm in a lot of groups with that too, because you never know who you're going to meet or want to talk to. So they're highly targeted communities in all areas. Okay, so how you get to the groups is you click work, which is kind of strange. And then there is a groups little button there, and you click that. And you can it'll list all your groups here at the top. But you can also search for groups by just searching in the search box. You can also type a group name, or you can also look at what groups other people in your network belong to, and you can see if those groups are good for you. So you do have to follow the rules of the group. A lot of groups have rules around when to post, and if you can post promotional or informational only. So just make sure you look at the rules of each group and follow those, or you might get kicked out. Some groups you can just join without getting approval, and some, the person who's the admin of the group has to approve you to get in. That's like Facebook as well. Okay, so how you post in a group is you just go to the group. It's very similar to posting on your homepage, and you just click start a conversation, and then you can, I guess some groups, I don't know if this is old or not, I'll be honest, you can enter a title for it and then the details. And then you can add a picture there and then click post. So any questions there? Okay, thank you. So now we're going to talk about probably one of the most important reasons why people use LinkedIn. Once you have a lot of connections and you continue to build your network here, it's a great, I use LinkedIn kind of like a Rolodex sometimes. When I've met someone at an event, I always add them to LinkedIn. That's like the first thing I've done. And then when someone asks me months later, like, do I know an accountant? And I'm like, wait a minute, I think I met somebody a couple months back. Let me look in my LinkedIn profile and search for that. And then I find a list of all the accountants I'm connected with, and I go, oh yeah, it was this person, that person, whatever, and then I can give the information to someone. So it's a great resource. So a lot of people, it is the best platform for B2B business growth and job search. It has a much higher rate. We talked about this in the very beginning. I think I had a slide that says it's much better for B2B leads than Twitter and Facebook. When you have an optimized profile, it also helps other people find you. So all of those things we covered before, the tips for optimizing your profile, actually help you be found in a search on LinkedIn. People do use LinkedIn like a search tool, like they would search on Google. And when you have an optimized LinkedIn profile, I think I did mention this in the first half, your LinkedIn profile, if someone searches for your name on Google, your LinkedIn profile will most likely appear sometimes even above your website, which is kind of interesting. So it is kind of SEO focused, search engine optimization focused. So 80% of all B2B social media leads come from LinkedIn. So the best way to grow your network and find leads is to find and connect with ideal prospects. So the strategies to look for prospects and leads are people in your current network. So like I mentioned before, if I have an accountant that I want to connect with and I think that accountants might be a target market for me, I can search for accountant and find people. Or I can ask for introductions in my own network. I can do advanced searches. I can look at people that went to the same school as I did. That's a nice commonality. You can also look at who's viewed your profile. You do have a limitation if you have the free account. I believe you can only see the last 3 people in a 30-day period who have looked at your profile. If you have some of the paid accounts, then you can see everybody. Again, in LinkedIn groups, you can message the people that that are in the group with you, even if you're not directly connected with them. So actually now is the time I'm going to jump back to LinkedIn to show you in real time how a search works, because I think that makes a lot more sense to do than to show you my PowerPoint presentation. So let me bring this back to stop the share. Okay, and then I'm going to share my screen instead. Okay, oops, let's move you over. Okay, so when you're searching, so let's see. Liz, do you want me to, who would you search for if you were doing a search on LinkedIn? Who would be a primary target market for you?
I think, well, maybe, well, like, for example, if I'm going to go into Canada, if we open in Canada, I look for people who own salons in Canada.
Okay, so let's search for salon owner. And if I just hit enter, it brings me like 178,000 results, which is way too many. So I want to narrow down my search. First of all, I click people because I only want the people, which is almost the same number. But what I want to do is I want to look by location. So I can type Canada. Canada's already there, so I could just click Canada, click apply. And then now I'm down to 8,500, which is still quite a lot of people. So you can also put a region of Canada. I'm not sure of Canada region. So you could probably
Like Toronto.
Type Toronto. So let's try that. Okay, so let's try that. Narrows it down a little more, and let's take Canada as a whole country out and click apply. So now we're down to 1,700, which is still a lot, but you know. What you could do then is just, you know, scroll through here and look. Now, obviously, what you also may want to do is
on size of the company.
Excuse me, what?
Can you search on size?
Only if you have the paid account.
Okay.
So I have Sales Navigator, which is the paid account, and yes, you can do that there, but not when you have the free account. I can show you that in Sales Navigator if you want to see it. Okay. But I don't think most people have that. It's kind of expensive. Right. But another way to narrow it down is, okay, so we talked in the beginning about the difference between first, second, and third connections. So first degree connections are the people that are directly connected to you already in your network. And second degree are the people that are connected to your first degree connections. So if I was doing a search for someone, I would probably, I might search for first degree first and see if anybody in my network has, but nobody in my network has that in their title in Toronto, Canada. So then what I would probably do is click second degree connections, because someone that I'm connected to may be connected to a salon owner in Canada, and then that's going to bring the number down. Hopefully there's a couple. Okay, so that's a lot more manageable. 22 results I have, and that's a lot more manageable for you to start messaging and connecting with these people. That's a great number to start with for potential leads in Canada. And now not everybody may have the exact word salon owner, but this person does, and this person owns a salon too, and it seems like they do. Well, this is a dog salon, so you probably don't want that one. So you do have to look at people, what they have on their profile. I always do recommend clicking someone's name and looking more about them, because you can also see how many connections they have. So this person has a lot of connections. So if you end up sending them a LinkedIn connection request, they're more likely to respond because they're active enough that they have 500 plus connections. So this is a good test. So you can actually see how many, like I mentioned before, you can see how many people they're connected to if you scroll down and look at their activity. So I only like to prospect that way and look at the person's profile, because if they're not active on LinkedIn, then you're wasting your time sending them a message. So this tells me that this person is active, because not only does she have a lot of connections, she has posted, she has some YouTubes on here, and she has some activity. Now, if I click this was 5 days ago. This tells me that she posted something 5 days ago, which also tells me that she's active, currently active. So she would be a good prospect. So Liz, write her name down, because you may not have the same results in your search that I get in mine. So we'll talk later and we'll give you some. So this is a good test because yeah, she may not be a second degree connection for you. She's friends. I've only have 3 mutual connections with her. So that's a nice one for you. Now I can go back and look at another person and continue to do that. So the other thing that's interesting, and I don't see it on any of these people. Let me go to the second page and see if I find it. You can actually tell if someone's on LinkedIn at the current time or when they were last on, if you see a green dot by their name, kind of like how Facebook has that. I don't know if anyone's ever noticed that, but on Facebook, the people on the right side of the screen, if they have a green dot, means they're active. They may not be like right then and they're active, but their app is open and they're probably at some point during that day they used it. Well, LinkedIn has something very similar. It's a green dot. It may or may not be a complete green dot circle, and that tells you something. So I don't see it here, but let me put in Liz's profile, and I'm going to show you. I don't know if you're actually on LinkedIn now, Liz. Do you have your LinkedIn open? Yeah, you do. See this green dot here next to your profile picture? That means you're active on LinkedIn right now. So again, this is another indication of someone that's active, that if you see that they're a prospect of yours and you see that green dot, even if it's not totally filled in, I would definitely message that person. Okay, so now, Bobby, do you have a prospect list? You want me to show you another example?
No.
Okay, no. How about you, Shank?
Because I haven't really been using it lately, so I know I have a lot of messages out there. I need to work on it.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
I appreciate you asking.
Okay, so up here, yeah, so I still have a lot of people that have messaged me and I haven't responded either. You can actually search, you can filter some of these. You can filter by the ones you haven't read yet, or you can type someone's name in here. If you said, oh wait, I remember Andrew, I didn't, reach out to him yet. I don't even know if I have an Andrew in here, but if I typed, yeah, I guess I don't. If I like said, oh, Karen, I know I didn't respond to her yet, and I can pull up all the Karens. So that's kind of interesting way to make sure that you're responding to people in case you forget, someone that you may have wanted to reach out to. So Shank, do you have a search that you want me to do? What is your business?
Well, I have 2. I own a commercial mall, which is fortunately fully rented out and people are all paying rents.
That's good.
And then I'm also a State Farm agent.
Oh, okay.
In Nashville.
Okay. So you have anyone needs insurance.
Yeah. Anyone who drives a car.
Right.
Or lives under a roof.
Right. So also for your commercial.
I also do mortgages. So.
Oh wow, you do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
We need to talk later. But anyway, so for any of those businesses, so I guess if you since you already have a full commercial property, so you don't need to look for property owners in your area, but right. But if you did,
but you never know. You never know when a tenant might just.
Well, that's true. So, and by the way, so your search results are going to be a little different than mine because you have different people in your network. Just like I mentioned before, to tell Liz to note the person that we found, she might not have the same results. So it's interesting how LinkedIn works, that you may or may not get some of the same results as someone else. And that's why it's very important to be on LinkedIn and expand your network, connect to as many people as you can. Because when someone else is searching for what you do, they might not find you if you don't have a lot of connections. But if you're connected with a lot of people, they're more likely to find you. And, Can
I ask you a question about that?
Sure.
What is the best way when someone asks to connect? What is the best way to not have them connect? I'm going to give you 2 really quick scenarios.
Yeah.
A few years back, a gentleman from Texas sent me a LinkedIn request. And, that time I didn't know much, so I clicked yes. Next thing I know, he's contacting people in my network, trying to sell them IT stuff. So that's one. And second thing is, I met a guy at the gym last week. He just said, a very young guy, he said, hey, can we meet for coffee? I said, sure. We met for coffee. Turns out he's part of a multi-level pyramid scheme thingamajig selling life insurance.
Yeah.
And he sent me a request. Now, I already know the guy, but I cannot have him get access to my contacts because, you know, he contacts them, I lose my credibility because I never use LinkedIn to make a hard sales pitch. You know, I do more, as you said, more 80% educational. Sometimes I do 95% educational, and that gives me more likes and stuff like that. So what is the best way to deny them? Because someone had said, hey, if someone from out of town contacts you, you can just respond to them, hey, you know, let's meet for coffee and see if we are a really good fit.
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't think you can send a message to them unless you're LinkedIn Premium. So I don't know if it's even worth.
So let me address your first question. So you connected with someone that abused the privilege of being connected with you and
Can you unconnect them?
started looking at your network and pretending maybe that they knew you and saying, you know, so what you can do with that person is you can actually disconnect from them. Once you're connected with someone, you can disconnect.
How do you do that?
And how do you do that is, let me see if I can remember because it's been a while, but I believe you would go to My Network. So if you click here, My Network, and you go to, let me move my little screen here. I believe if you click See All, because I have a lot of people I haven't even accepted requests yet. Let's see where it is. You know what? Okay. This is how you would, okay, I was thinking the wrong thing. This is how, if you sent someone a connection request and you decided you didn't want to have that still sitting out there, this is where you would go to actually remove it. You can actually see who I sent requests to. And if someone like, you know, look, 2 months ago, I sent a connection request to this person and I can withdraw it. So that's different. Okay, that's
Do they
just
get an
another
email?
one.
Do they get an email? Does that person
They do
get
not get an email. No, they do not. And even when you disconnect with them, they do not get an email. Let me see if I just use your Liz. I think you might be able to just do it from their profile now that I'm thinking of it. Not unfollow. Yeah, remove connection. All you have to do is go to their profile. Now, obviously, they're going to see that you went to their profile. So you can first take that off. You know how to do that?
What?
Like, not show that it's you looking at their profile. So in this case, I always tell people leave that feature on, the feature that shows people that you're looking at their profile, because that's a strategy perhaps for letting them look at your profile and connecting with you if you don't feel like sending them the connection request. But what you could do is if you go to me up here, I'll show again. We did this in the beginning, but I don't think you were on the first one. You had problems with your internet, you said. And you click settings and privacy. So before you do,
I'm following along with you on my screen too.
Okay,
so.
perfect. So what you want to do is you want to go down to the, here, profile viewing options under how others see your LinkedIn activity. Scroll down a bit and this profile viewing options. Did you get there? And instead of it showing your name and headline, which I do recommend you always do, you can click anonymous LinkedIn member private mode. Put yourself in private mode temporarily. When you do that, know that anyone that's viewing your profile while you're in private mode, you're not going to be able to see those profile views. But if you don't care, then don't worry about it. Change yourself to private mode, go to his profile and disconnect, and then put yourself back in the mode of being able to be viewed. Okay.
Got it.
All right. So now your other question was, you met someone, had coffee with them or whatever, and they seemed like a good connection, but, or maybe they didn't. You're afraid that if you accept the person's connection request, they're going to start doing what this other person did and network messaging people. So one of two things. You can either just not accept the connection request and forget about it, or you can accept it, and if the person starts doing that, you can then, because not everybody does that, not everybody abuses it. You know, you can hide your connections from people, but that's the whole point of LinkedIn is to be able to help each other.
True. Yeah.
So I don't recommend that. What I would say is you have to make a decision. Do you think it's worth the chance? If it was a stand-up person, they're not going to abuse it. And if they start to abuse it, then you just do what you're doing with this other person and disconnect. So.
Perfect. Thank you.
People aren't supposed to use it that way, but they do, unfortunately. I mean, I get people all the time that send me messages, and sometimes it's like, oh, I thought you might need help with your LinkedIn profile. And I'm thinking, you obviously did not read my profile, because this is what I do for people. Like, really? And it's over and over the same message. It's like, are you kidding me? So anyway, I mean, the goal is to, you know, build that know, like, and trust factor by, you know, commenting and engaging with others, building the relationship. You know, LinkedIn does record all the activity. So, you know, sometimes you may want to be careful about what you're liking and commenting on, because it does show that. So if you look at your own profile, clicking on me and viewing my profile, and I come down here, all of my activity is being recorded. So today I posted something, and that's great. I've gotten 47 views of my post in the feed. That's kind of nice. No one engaged with it, but then I posted something yesterday and got some views. Posted this, shared this group that Liz and I are in called the Happy Neighborhood Project. I'm trying to find this person. I got two. I'm trying to find something where I commented. So here I replied to a comment. So someone commented on my post, and then I commented back to him. I'm trying to find one where I commented on someone else's. So yeah, it's nice. So here, Happy Neighborhood Project posted something, and I made a comment. So you have to just, you know, it's good to engage, and you know, all of these activities that you do can help grow your business. So I like to ask the question at the end of my presentation, which I guess it's, what time is it? Yeah, we've been on for a little bit, so I think it's time to wrap it up. Will you take action? I like to ask. When your prospects are searching on LinkedIn for what you do, will they find you or the competition? How many opportunities have you missed out on if you're not using LinkedIn? And Oprah Winfrey quote, which I like, is, don't worry about being successful, but work toward being significant, and the success will naturally follow. So I know sometimes I worry too. Am I saying the right thing? Am I posting, you know, at the right time? But you know what? Don't worry about all of that. Just do consistent activity, consistently connect with new people, and you will grow your network and your business. So I do have a special offer for all the people who've been on these calls with us, whether you attended live or not. We're going to send the recording out. And so I mentioned my free report. I'm going to send out to everybody again, because I think you got it when you signed up for the class, but I've updated it, so I'll send that out. But I have a special offer, 1 hour hands-on LinkedIn training via Zoom, like we're doing now, where we would share the screen, we would update your profile in real time, and normally I charge a lot more. I'm offering it for $97 for 1 hour session. So if you have any interest in that, connect with me on LinkedIn or send me an email. You have my information from the email when you registered, or you can call me. My number is 908-391-7340. My email, pearlmark@optonline.net. And if we're not already connected on LinkedIn, practice and send me a personalized connection request, so that you can, you know, get used to doing that, and let me know how I can help you. Thank you so much for your participation, and please feel free to call me with any questions. Thank you so much.
This was awesome. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Have a great rest of the day.